Hello everybody, this is Paige from Mosaic Moments, and today I am showing you layouts that were the best of 2024. Of course, these ideas can work any year you are watching this video, but I decided to pull out my favorite, which there is a lot of them. I have a pretty big pile today. This video could be a little bit longer than normal, but we'll see. And again, all of these were published this year for the first time. So I have shown this in, I think, one or two other videos, but this was made by Jody. These are showing our corner tile die. So our first corner tile die was this 1x1 inch one, and then this is the 2x2. It has the 3x3 here, and you can see how it's nice to add in two photos in a single square space. And there's also the 4x4 size, which does come with a layering size, so you can layer your photo, because I think the die that fits the actual grid paper measurements is a little bit large for 4x6 photographs. So we did provide a layering die, and this layout looks so good. I love this diamond look over here, and then a diamond look is repeated over here as well, and it's a great way to add lots of photos. And the corner tile dies are great for doing really unique patterns like this on your layout. So really, really neat one. All right, this next one shows the soft corner dies, which I love. And here I used this really shiny paper. This is a rose gold metallic paper. Kind of looks like coins on this layout. This is of Disney Springs. If you've never been there, it's a shopping area at Disney World. And I think the brick grid paper looks really good and was really fitting for the shopping area. There are a lot of buildings there with brick. Obviously, I used the metallic paper over here as well. And these photos have a lot of really, there's like these water features with really pretty blue there. And so I kind of put in some blue on my page as well. But it's a really nice layout with the soft corners. You can, of course, do a big chunky mosaic with them. So I really enjoy this one. All right, the next few layouts show the black diamond dies. This was new in 2024. It was a pretty exciting one. So here, this is one of my favorite pages. This one is from Jody. And of course, it's black diamond. We had to have a page showing a mountain or a ski slope of some sort. So that's what it's showing here. I really like how this kind of looks like one big photo. It was actually a few photos blended together to look like one big photo, but it looks like the side of a mountain where people are going skiing. So this looks really good. I love the paper. It has the black diamond actually can give you a pretty simple design. You can use a pattern paper here to make it look less busy. I love this one. This one has great contrast with the photos. You can see a lot of the photos have this red rock, and then in the center section where the diamond is, you can see the photos have a lot of green in them. It's a very nice complementary color scheme, and this diamond really stands out because of the contrast in the photos. Here's another one, black diamond, and I want to point out that there is the 3x4, there's two different 3x4s. There's a 4x4 size, and this layout has the 4x5 size. This is a wonderful layout. Pretty much what I did was I wanted to create contrast in this diamond. So you can see I have these like beach photos with the sand, and then the rest of the photos show more inland in the Outer Banks area, and there's kind of more green in these other photos. So this is a great example of getting contrast again. And this is a fun one of Animal Kingdom. And this one, I put little pictures. So when we come here, the animals are at a distance. So these were actually printed at 4x6. I didn't crop any of these smaller because they were taken so far away that I could crop them in these tiny little spaces. So this is a fun one if you go somewhere like for sports or at a zoo, to fit in all these little places. And this layout overall looks really, really neat. And again, I like having the option of showing a lot more pattern paper. So if you're a pattern paper fan, I think Black Diamond could be a good one to use. All right, this is a really nice winter layout from Jody. And on this layout, she used the Snowflake Trio die set. So these are the 3 designs you can get in that set. And this layout stands out to me. Part of it's because the colors are very unique. These aren't colors we would probably normally choose, but I think she really pulled it off. I really like how, even though it's not the same snowflake, that there's symmetry in the colors she used. And I also really liked how she added these little gem stickers to all of them. I think it makes the layout look so pretty. Altogether, this layout looks really good. It's one of my favorites from this year. Here's another layout with level 1 dies. This is our honeycomb die collection. So there's 3 of the sizes here. And I really liked how Jody did this one. So she actually laid this right on the grid paper, so there's no background piece. And you can cover up the spots to hide the grid lines that show through behind there. What stands out to me about this layout is the colors she used. It creates this unique pattern. I mean, with the honeycomb dies, you can really use them with any design. Don't let the honeycomb names scare you from using them for things other than, like, you know, for something bee related or farm related or something, or food related. She used this for this mountain biking layout, and I think it looks so good. And I love how she used this metallic gold paper in there. So to me, I think what makes this page is so great is the colors, and I really like how these are kind of filled randomly. There's different ways you can fill in the honeycomb days, but I kind of like how she put it in randomly with different colors. It looks really neat. I think this is one of my favorite layouts using the honeycomb collection. It's a really fun one. All right, Jody also made this one. This one shows the chic dies. This is one of my favorite layouts with the chic die. So the chic die is 5 by 5 squares, so it's a pretty big die, but I really like this center section. She filled it in a way to make it look like a butterfly, and it has this butterfly paper in there. So it just looks really good. The colors are really nice. It's obviously a spring layout. There's some green. There is some pink in the photos. And so it's nice to have this pink paper to tie that all in. And she also, to fill in these little sections, has this bark from a tree. So this is a photo she took. So it looks really good. There's obviously 4 spots to put in your portrait photos like she did here. And the rest of it can be some kind of filler like spring flowers. But overall, what stands out is this center with that butterfly design. This is one of the best, in my opinion, chic pages we have. All right, this year, this is also new. The Soleil dies are not new. Some of you probably used our Soleil dies, but new this year was a new size. This is a 2 by 3. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't have the Soleil dies, or even if you do, the 2 by 3 is actually my favorite so far. I made this layout and I really like how it turned out. The other size is 2 by 2 and 2 by 6, and the 2 by 6 is too big to use with 4 by 6 photos, but it is great for pattern paper. And the 2 by 2, it's really small, so the 2 by 3 is a nice in between. So if you really like this look, I highly recommend the 2 by 3. So what I did here was the inside of my circle has pattern paper, and I actually put the photos on the outside, which is something I don't normally do. And what I like about it is you can really see the circle clearly, and then everything else looks like it ties in together. You can see how these photos, they were taken out of garden and it's very green. This was in Portland. And so I also filled in the 4 corners, even though it's just the 2 by 2 square, with very similar photos, and it kind of looks like this really neat frame on the outside. I really love this one. I think it turned out great. And again, I really liked the 2 by 3 Soleil. I can't wait to make more pages later on. All right, this is the Ripples dies, and this was a really fun page to create. So Ripples, a lot of people may associate it with water and beach, and you certainly could use it for that, but it can really make the appearance of a really fancy frame, which is what I was going for here. So there's this clothing, well, I don't know if it's just clothing, but there's a store called Love Shack Fancy, and I think this layout shows the personality of that store. It's kind of frilly and girly, and I think this layout shows that. So don't be afraid to get the Ripples dies for something like this. I love this layout because it looks like a giant frame. All right, I have a 2-page spread here with the Craftsman Dyes. These are a level 1. I love the Craftsman Dyes very much. You can do all sorts of things to fill them in unique ways. So here I have the 3x3. Here's the 1x1, which I decided to just fill in the diamond area because these are very tiny and a little bit more hard to fill in. And this is the 2x5. And when you look at that, isn't that so neat? I just love this. The colors work really, really well together. And so on the back of every single Craftsman die cut, I have photos of petroglyphs. So they were out in a canyon in Utah, so out west. And they have, right here, you can see they have these neat petroglyphs. So that's what I decided to use as the background. And I think the Craftsman dies, you know, you could obviously have the photo of the petroglyphs alone, and you know, that could be really important to you to show, but I also thought it made a great texture for these Craftsman die cuts as well. And I just love this layout. I love the petroglyphs. I think that helped make the page, but the colors are super, super neat as well. And I highly recommend the Craftsman die cuts if you like doing things outdoors or just want a die that looks kind of modern. Again, you can fill them in many different ways in all sorts of different colors. So all together, I thought this layout looked really good. Our new die this year was Spyro. We love Spyro. This is a layout Jody made. There was a lot of layouts to choose, but I think this is one of my favorite ones because of the way she used pattern paper. So she has the fish paper, and she actually ran out. And I think it would have looked really neat having the fish paper on the whole page. It would look like these fish are just swimming through the layout, right? But she didn't have enough. And so she used the back of one of our summer grid papers called Board Shorts. That's like a ombre paper, and it looks so cool. I love this. It almost reminds me of like a Celtic knot. This is a really neat looking layout, and it's a really cool die. If you haven't checked out Spyro yet, go check it out. I will say this die, I would not probably do it if you were a very beginner at Mosaic Moments, but if you've been doing it for a while and want something a little more challenging, you should check out Spyro. It's a really, really neat one. All right, this is another layout. This page shows Sidekick, and we actually do have a video here on YouTube showing how to make this exact layout. So this layout was made by our newest designer, Caitlin. She's also our youngest designer. If you see, she has been making some of the videos, so if you see someone's hands and who has rings, her videos, you can tell it's her because her hands tend to have more rings on them or maybe nail polish. I don't usually wear any of that stuff, so you can tell the difference between the two of us. And I also want to point out, we also have another designer named Lauren who makes some of our videos as well. But Caitlin made this one. I think it turned out really well. I think she chose really good colors. I really like this ombre paper. It's called Sunset. And she chose this kind of tealish blue and then used the same orange. And I really like the pattern paper. But Sidekick is new this year. It's a level 3. And if you're someone who maybe you're getting tired of the level 3 dies that have a lot of really tiny parts to them, I think you'll like this one. It makes a really neat design. It's really quick to use because the spaces are bigger and you're not cutting a lot of little pieces like you would with X Factor or Crisscross. So it's a wonderful, wonderful page. I highly recommend it. I really like Sidekick a lot. This was probably one of my favorites that was new this year. So if you haven't seen this one, and if you like level 3, but don't necessarily want something with a lot of intricate spaces, go check out this one. pile is getting smaller, but I hope you're enjoying the video so far. You can let me know below if you enjoy watching my flip through videos, and I always am open to ideas from you of what kind of flip through videos you would like to see next. So please comment below. Let me know how you're feeling about them. Anyway, this is also a new die from 2024. This is our Darling Die set, which you can do neat things with this one as well, but you basically get the idea that it puts several circles on your layout, and it does come with layering sizes. So here I was able to put in this really pretty pattern paper and a photo on top. So I just love that. So this circle, you can tell it's not a complete circle. It has this like corner cut out. So this was a great spot for these waterfall pictures, and then I was able to fit the portraits in the ones that are a full circle. It makes great contrast. I love how there's a photo and then the pattern paper, and it makes great contrast in the layout. I also like the pattern paper I picked here, and I was able to basically fill in the entire page with it, so it's kind of like being, you know, flowy with all these flowers. And I want to give a shout out to this grid paper. This is steel blue. I think it's really pretty. I think it worked perfectly for this layout, but it's one I think that doesn't get a lot of love. So go check out 12 by 12 steel blue on our website, snapandcrop.com. It's one of our grid paper colors. All right, I'm happy to show this one. I have 4 pages here from our new Barrier Island grid paper collection. So again, there was 4 new colors this year. I have them all here. So these were the very first pages we ever made with all of these colors. So the first color I'm showing is called Atlantic. It's a very pretty blue color. On camera, at least on my camera, it looks more purpley, but it's actually more blue. So if it looks kind of purpley to you, that may not be accurate. But it's a really pretty color. I looked at this background here and it had this blue and green. I decided to kind of put that into my layout. So I have that kind of similar green and blue here. This layout is of my dog, and in case you're wondering, she is in a stroller because she can't walk very well anymore and won't be able to ever again. So this is my solution to get her around, because otherwise she would not really be able to get anywhere. It's a little bit sad, but, you know, I made a fun page calling Strolling Through Duck. So this is a cute one, but I overall really love this paper. I love this layout. I love this color. I thought it was perfect. This is like a boardwalk area, and I thought it was the perfect color for that. All right, this layout has the color Wet Sand, also of my dog. This was, I think, the same trip, but she's able to walk on the sand easier, so she's not in a stroller in these photos. So, yeah, I want to make this page showing her enjoying herself because she loves the beach. But I also really love this grid color called Wet Sand. It's just the perfect brown. It's kind of this medium brown. It looks so good with these blues. I mean, this is a great one for the beach, but anything outdoorsy would work. I mean, really, it's a neutral color that can work with a lot of things. So Wet Sand is wonderful. This layout is Dry Sand. Jody made this one. You can see has a more, I don't know what they call it, pale look, lighter in color. And Jody actually used this one for her daughter's graduation photos. She obviously had her photos taken on, it's a beach. This is the James River in these photographs. So I thought this background was great for these photos. And this die cut right here is our Daybreak die. It's wonderful for framing your photos. I think it's perfect for graduation. And this color is Sound Side. What I love about this page is it feels so peaceful. Like, you can tell these photos were taken at a very peaceful time of day. And I like this. This green to me feels very peaceful too. If you want to like nice, I think Barrier Islands in general is nice. If you want nice calming colors in your background, I think they're perfect for these peaceful or tranquil looking layouts. And I love the pattern paper here. Totally fits the theme. It's this coastal paper that works really well. And she used these little starfish die cuts. This is from our Beachcomber die set. They're in a border And she just used individual starfish designs in these squares. But I really like this one. Again, it's a very nice calming green. All right, this next layout shows some of our new X Factor dies. So we have a die collection called X Factor. It's I think our biggest, it must be our biggest die collection, and we added more to it this year. So it was pretty exciting. This layout shows a new 2x2 design we have. So we had another 2x2 before that's more open, and this one has that double X Factor look. And then we have a 1x2 set with 2 different designs in it, and this is just one of them. But I really like this layout. First of all, the colors on this really stand out to me. So the grid paper is from our all-season collection. I don't remember what the name of the paper is. It's kind of hard to remember the names from that collection, but I really like the ombre look here. And then I found this paper from Craft Concentorium that looks so good. It has this like watercolor paper and it matched perfectly. And then the embellishments are from Paige Evans. So these embellishments are from her, and I really like this. This was a fun title. So this is my little niece at the beach. This layout looked really good, and what I wanted to show more embellishments, so I just used the X Factor dies to make these 2 borders and then lay things on top. So this is one idea. If you really like adding embellishments to your layout, this is one fun way to do it. If you don't have the X Factor dies, you could just use basic dies or other dies of the same size and cover them up. I hope this gives you one idea if you're looking to add more embellishments to your layouts. All right, this layout right here also shows a couple of new X Factor dies. This layout was made by Caitlin, who I mentioned earlier. So this layout shows our new 4x4 X Factor diamond. This is like my favorite X Factor die of all time right now. This is my favorite, and I love the diamond look. It helps you really focus on the focal point, and she used the photo, but you could use a pattern paper. It makes great contrast in your layout. This is also the 2x3 die. It also came with the X Factor collection we have. It's in the set called the 4x5 and 2x3 X Factor set. And this is the 3x5, which we've had for a long time now. But this is a very good layout. She actually used photos here. We do have a video showing this one. So one idea is if you can't find a color of paper you want, you could use a photo for your outlines. But it does mean printing out more photos. But Caitlin did it. She did a great job. Again, love the X Factor Diamond Die. I'm glad that came out this year. It looks really, really good. All right, we're getting close to done here, but this is another layout with the soft corners die set, but it's a fall theme instead. And so I didn't show a huge panorama this time, but I made 4 different sections that were, these are all a 4x6 photograph. It may seem a little bit bigger because when you cut it and then, you know, separate the little pieces, it almost makes the photo feel bigger. So that's one neat thing about soft corners. But I also want to point out here in the circle this time, I put in this leaf die. I think it's just called leaf 1x3. So it's a little border die, and I just used the little leaves to put in the circles. So that's one idea, is you can use these circles to put in those little fun embellishing die cuts, or maybe something like stickers. You could put in the year there if you wanted to. So this is a really pretty layout. This is our grid paper called Kale. It's in our Harvest collection. It's a really pretty green. If you really enjoy using greens, I recommend this color. So remember, that is Kale, 12x12 Kale from the Harvest collection. So that was a very pretty layout. All right, this is one of our new dies from this year. It's called Gable. I'm going to turn this to the side. So Gable, kind of, you can get the design there. This is like a gable. It kind of looks like a farmhouse or something like that, or a barn. But this is another layout from Caitlin, and we had multiple layouts made with Gable, but I wanted to show this one because I thought, first of all, this layout was really fun with the bright colors. This grid paper is Bikini from our summer collection, and I don't know how it looks through the video, but it actually has multi-tones. It's not like one solid pink. And I really like the idea she did here where she took close-ups. So this was at a water park. They do have some of these hibiscus flowers there. And so she went and took close-ups. And I like that she filled in these spaces with those photos because it makes the page have texture. It gives the layout color. You know, it may feel like you're not going to use that entire photo, but I really like how even here, even though it's cropped, it still makes a great texture and again adds great color. Gable dyes are level 3, and again, if you're someone who doesn't really like to cut out the intricate little pieces, Gable's a great one if you want to use level 3 but want something that has larger spaces. This is a great one for you. All right, I have 2 more layouts. Both of these use the new dye side by side. It's a pretty exciting one. So this one has 2 new dyes from this year, has our side-by-side and the X Factor diamond. So yes, side-by-side, for those of you who want to combine dyes, side-by-side works really well with X Factor, and you can also use it with crisscross. So this layout turned really good. It has these 2 pattern papers here. I mean, don't you just love this? Really interesting. It's like there's 4 diamonds overlapping each other. It looks really neat. And this one has side by side just by itself. And there is a die that has an open space like here, but I really like this too. There's this kind of overlapping or interlocking diamond look with side by side. So here I had these landscape photos, which I cut in here. And then I had, it was sunset when I took these photos. So there was like some tall, I don't know what it is, but some kind of tall grass-like stuff in the water. And because the sun was setting, it had an orange tone on it. And so I had this really nice contrast with the blue hues and the landscape, and then this orange kind of grassy stuff. I'm telling you, you should just take photos of everything because you never know how it'll work out. So this is a really neat design. I love side by side. I think these pages turned out really, really, really well. And I really didn't think it was very difficult. I mean, there are some small pieces, but side by side does come with extra die cuts to get these pieces cut much easier. So I definitely think if you don't have side by side already, go ahead and give them a try. All right, these were some of the best. We had a lot of layouts made this year, but these were some of the best of 2024. Again, these ideas can work any year, and you can let me know in the comments below which of these was your favorite, or which one of these dyes do you want to do next, or layout you want to do next. Maybe you already have the dyes and we're looking for more ideas with them. So we would love to hear more from you in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know of any suggestions you have for more videos. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. I think we made a lot of great pages this year. And of course, there will be more coming in 2025. We're so excited. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.